security, right? Okay, let me, because I'm facing the other side. Okay, so, and also the foundation of our next chapter, chapter 8. In chapter 8, we will use some of this cryptographic algorithm in our what they call IP security, right? VPN, in our VPN implementation. Okay, so chapter 7, cryptographic system. Okay, these are the outline of the chapter 7. Okay, introduction, some services of the cryptographic, the basic integrity and authenticity, confidentiality, PKC, and finally the summary. So there's a lot to cover for today. I need to really fast because 2 hours I think is not really good enough. Yeah? So the first section, the cryptography services. So these are things that are going to be covered inside this section 7.1. Okay, when we talk about cryptology, yeah, we talk about cryptology. It's actually the science of making and breaking the secret code. I think we often hear about this one, cryptography, yeah, but I think these two we rarely heard of, cryptology, cryptoanalysis. So basically, the cryptology is actually the science of making. This is the one that's making, and this is the one that's breaking the code. So we have two sections. So both fall under the what we call is cryptology. Okay, so in history, for example, this one is popular, good example, Julius Caesar. They used a simple alphabetic cipher to encrypt messages to his general in the field, right? During wartime. Yeah, he is one of the Roman general. Yeah. So his general will have knowledge of the cipher key required to decrypt the message. Later we will see, okay, what does this cipher looks like, by Julius Caesar, right? So we have covered all of this in previous chapter. Yeah? So we have our local area network, and then we have implemented some of the security in our devices. For example, we learn about device hardening, and then we learn about AAA access control. We learn about ACL. We learn about firewall. This one later in chapter 10, we are going to cover this in detail. ASA, chapter 9 and 10. Okay, and then monitoring threat using IPS. We implement, hopefully you have done your chapter 5. Yeah? And then how we can secure our endpoint using AMP. Yeah? And then we have, Cisco. These are all solutions by Cisco. Last week lecture. AMP, we have ESA for email security. And then for web security, we have WSA. Yeah? So all of these security aspect, we can implement them inside our local network. Yeah? For example, we have this firewall. And later we learn about ASA firewall. And then we have our regular router, and then we can harden the router, device hardening, right? Okay, you know the three aspects of security, CIA, yeah? Confidentiality, integrity, and authenticity. Yeah? And then the aspect of another things that we need to cover, we have covered already, basically the authentication that will authenticate who you are. Yeah? So two primary methods following source in network communication, authentication services and data non-repudiation services. So, so this basically they come together. You, for example, you are the one who knows the card. You are the one who knows the PIN number. Yeah, we can equate this to our ATM machine. You put in your card first. Okay, you have the card, and then you are the one who knows the number. This is why we say this is data non-repudiation services. You cannot deny that you are the one who performed the transaction. Okay, so this is to do with what we call authentication. So authentication guarantee a message come from the source that it claimed to come from. So similar to what we call using PIN number in the banking system, right? So data non-repudiation, similar services is a similar service that allow the sender of a message to be uniquely identified. Right? So with non-repudiation service in place, so we cannot deny that we are the one who is the source, who is performing the transaction. Okay? So this thing, authentication, they come together with non-repudiation. And then the second part is data integrity. So ensure that messages are not altered in transit. Okay? So in data integrity, the receiver can verify that the received message identical to the one sent by the sender. So there is no manipulation occurred. So in history, I think you have seen this in movie. Yeah, in all movie, normally the movie that the history about all time, the people send messages using this stamp. This is what they call what they call here, the seal. Yeah, the seal using signet. They call it signet ring. Yeah, so the seal, this seal created using this signet ring. Yeah, this is they call it signet ring, and then there's some signature here. They identify who you are. Yeah, this is like your signature, for example. This is my signature. So this one identify me, for example, right? Okay, this bore the family crest, initial, a portrait or personal symbol or motto of the owner, yeah, of this signet ring. Yeah? And then an unbroken seal or on an envelope guarantee that the integrity of the content. Yeah, so the way we ensure the integrity, okay, this is not broken. This seal is not broken. Okay, so this is how in history people want to ensure that the message are not read by others. Right? Once this is broken, then they know that okay, there's a possibilities that this envelope has been opened. Right? And then the confidentiality ensure privacy. Okay? So we may carry this message, but we cannot read this. We cannot read this. We don't understand what are this message. What are these messages? Unless we know the key how to decrypt these messages. Yeah. So in ancient time, this is how they carry. Yeah? They carry the message on the paper, and then the host rider, they will carry this and then send to the recipient. And only the sender and the recipient knows how to decode this message. So this is how we ensure data confidentiality. Okay, this concept, all these three concepts, CIA, we will apply them in our modern network, right? Okay, and then cryptography, as we mentioned before, cryptology consists of cryptography plus cryptanalysis, right? So we look into what they call cryptography, creating ciphertext. Yeah? This is the purpose of the cryptography. Okay? So we have messages, plain message, and then there's some form of algorithm, and then we will get what I call cipher text. Okay? Ciphertext. This is what I call it. So we have clear text, and then perform some algorithm into the messages, and then we will get ciphertext. These are example. Yeah. So a cipher, this is a cipher. Okay, this is considered a cipher. It's a series. This is a cipher. The algorithm implemented here. It's a series of well-defined steps that can be allowed as a procedure when encrypting and decrypting messages. Okay, so there are several methods of creating ciphertext. Yeah? So ciphertext can be created using, and this one can be created using several methods: transposition, substitution or one-time pad. Yeah. So over the centuries, there are various cipher methods, physical devices, and also aids that have been used to encrypt and decrypt data. For example, SkyTail. Please refer to our curriculum. Yeah, the one given below is figure 2, Caesar cipher. The one you mentioned just now, Julius Caesar. This is the example of it. Virginia cipher, and then Enigma machine. Okay, I hope you can refer in your curriculum. They're all the example of this all ancient ways of encrypting the messages. Okay, so we are going to look into all this aspect: transposition cipher. No letter are replaced, but they are simply rearranged. One example, simple example. Okay, let's say this is a message that you want to send, but this is transposed into this simply by putting them in reverse order. Instead of reading flank is attack down, DAWN, and then we send NWAD, and then TAKCATTA, TAKCATTA, and then TSAE, and then FLANK. So they are the opposite round. So in transposition cipher, there's no letters replaced. No letter. This is very important here. No letters are replaced. They are simply rearranged. So another example is known as the fence cipher, rail fence cipher. Why they call it rail fence? Because this is look like a fence. Yeah? But I don't know why they call rail. Rail maybe because they are in sequence. Yeah. So they look like they arrange all the messages into this fence-like way method. FLANK, EAST, AT, TACK, at DAWN. And then the message that we are sending is like this. FKTATN. FKTATN. Okay, if we receive this, we won't be able to understand this unless we know, okay, this is how the messages, the original messages encrypted, right? So if we know this, then from here, we know how to get back to the original message. Okay. Okay, this is what we call transposition cipher, and then second one, substitution cipher. In transposition, nothing changed. We just rearrange our letters. But in substitution, the letters are substituted. Yeah. So in the simple form, for example, substitution cipher retain the letter frequency of the original message. Okay, this is the example of the Caesar cipher just now. Yeah, mentioned many times already this name. Okay, this simply say that if the key used was 3, the letter A was moved 3 space to the right. So meaning if the 3 become D, right? So 3 space on the right. Yeah? So A become D, B become E, C become F, and so on. Okay? So if we know this is the key, and then we can rearrange back the message. Yeah? So the original message, and then rearrange using the substitution cipher, Julius cipher, and then this is the output, or what we call cipher text. The cipher, this is the message that we send. Right? Message sent, and then the sender will receive this, and then it will understand, and they will not be able to read this unless they know, okay, this is the algorithm used to get this message. Okay, so substitution, this is what we call substitution cipher. Basically the letters are changed. And then we have one time pad cipher. It's a bit modern. Yeah, this is in history, you can read this, but quite old as well. It's 1917. This is during the wartime they used this. Yeah? Gilbert Burnham at AT&T, Bell Lab engineer, invented and later patented the stream cipher as shown in this figure. Figure 1. Okay, sorry, this is figure 1. Right? I don't know whether you can fit this. This is a simple. This is diagram. And then he also co-invented the one-time pad cipher. This one proposed a teletype cipher, in which a prepared key consisting of arbitrary long, non-repeating sequence of number was kept on one paper tape. It was then combined character by character with the pen tape. So basically we have two tape, one tape for the key, another tape for the data, right? And then put inside the machine, and then the output will be our cipher tape. So there are two tape here, one tape for the key, the other tape for the data. These are considered stream. So they will compare one by one. So meaning this key, the same key has, the recipient should have the same key as well. They should have the same tape in order for them to break the code. Okay, this is the example. I think maybe just to make things clearer, we have, for example, the message if. Okay? I found it in the internet just to give some example. So this is the code, the key in binary. And then let's say we have our key here. So the key, the plain text combined with the key, and then we perform the XOR operation, right? So different and become 0. Okay? Different, sorry. This is considered, sorry, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. Encryption ciphertext. Okay, I don't know how they got this example. So maybe later you find out what. But the idea that I want to highlight here is basically, so we have two input. One is data. The other one is basically the stream. The stream should have the same length of the data. Okay, this one I'm doing. I thought this is XOR. So it's not XOR. Okay, you double check how they got this letter. 1 and 1 is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, similar 0, 1, 1. Okay, this is correct. If XOR 1, 0, 1. Okay, this one's strange. 1, 0, 0. Okay, never mind. Yeah, later you find out this. I think it's XOR 0, 1, 0, 1. This one should be 1. That's why I wonder this one. This one 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, correct. 0, 0, 0, correct. This one 1. Okay. Okay, this one is strange. This one, this part. And when this one, okay, same. Okay, I think only this one may be mistake. Yeah, mistake on this part. Okay, and then crypto analysis. We have cryptography, and then the second part is crypto analysis. Yeah? Cryptology consists of crypto analysis, cryptography, and crypto analysis. So we look at cryptography just now, and then the second part is basically crypto analysis, the practice and study of determining the meaning of encrypted information. So basically you want to try to crack the code without knowing the key. Obviously you won't be able to get the key, but then by doing the crypto analysis, we try to break the code. So basically we can use this symbol that symbolize the many key must be tried before successfully breaking the code. So crypto analysis, basically they will try brute force, for example, method. They will try an error until at the end they manage to break the code. So this is what we call crypto analysis. So there are several methods of cracking codes. There are many methods. I believe there are a lot more than here. What we listed here. For example, brute force. Brute force is the simplest one. It's not the simplest to do, but actually the simplest to understand. Basically, it's simply the attacker will try one by one, any possible key, knowing that eventually one of them will work. This is an example. So you have combination of this, so meaning you have to try 9999 times, maybe 10,000 times, in order for you to find one correct key. So this is what we call brute force. Brute force try one time every single possible key. And then we have what they call ciphertext method. The attacker has the ciphertext of several encrypted messages. but no knowledge of the underlying plain text. And so we know that, okay, we have plain text, and then perform the encryption, and then we will get the cipher text. Yeah. So in this method, okay, you have the attacker have this option, this part, but they don't have any information about this one. Yeah. So this is what I call cipher text method. So it have this. And then non-plain text method, the attacker has access to the cipher text of several messages and knows something about the plain text underlying. So it has this, it knows about this, it knows about this, doesn't know about this. Yeah? Some portion, only some portion. Some portion of this it knows, and then it knows it get this, some portion of the encrypted cipher text. And then chosen plain text method, the attacker chooses which data the encryption device encrypt and observe the cipher text. So basically try with some plain text, yeah? Try with some plain text, and then plain text, put inside here, and then it will get result. So it will study this result to understand, okay, what are the types of encryption method used here, right? This is what I call chosen plain text. And then with chosen ciphertext method, the attacker can choose different ciphertext to be decrypted and has access to the decrypted plain text. So we will try to try with, okay, this is the other way around now. Now we will try to decrypt the ciphertext, and then it will get some result of the ciphertext, the original text. Yeah. So this is the other way around. Studying. Try to study the other way. Yeah, this one. Chosen ciphertext method. The attacker choose different ciphertext to be decrypted. Yeah, and has access to the decrypted plain text. Right. Sorry, this is not. Sorry, I'm confused now. Okay, chosen ciphertext method. The decryptor can choose different ciphertext to be decrypted and has access to the decrypted. Okay, I think this is to do with almost similar to chosen plain text, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It has the portion, only the portion of the original message. Yeah. Just now we say we don't have the original message. This one we have original message, and then we can see the output of the encrypted text. This one, yeah. And then meet in the middle method, the attacker knows a portion of the plain text and the corresponding ciphertext. Yeah. Sorry guys, yeah. Okay guys, sorry. Someone knocked on the door. Okay, this one. Okay, never. I think this one quite confusing. These two. Okay. It's too quite confusing. Never mind. Okay, later we try to understand this. Hopefully by Wednesday, I will, if possible, I will try to re-explain about this one. Sorry guys. I didn't study this. I thought I understand this already. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Okay, the method of for cracking codes. Yeah, we have what I call frequency analysis of the English alphabet. This is another way. Yeah, another method what we call frequency analysis. So if we know that the messages are in English text, and then we can use this frequency analysis because in English alphabet there are some what we call character. Yeah, letters, they are used more frequent as compared to the others. For example, E, T, and A are the most popular. So this is the what they call the frequency analysis. The most popular E, and then we know T, and then we know A. And then we have this message, and then you see the sequence. Which one is the many sequence of the words. Yeah. The letter. So you know that we can, for example, D 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's a possibilities that this D is actually equal to either A, E, or T, most likely. Okay? So this is how we can also decrypt our message. Right? And then cryptology, we mentioned about this one, the combination of cryptography and cryptanalysis. Yeah. Okay, this making and breaking a secret code. Okay, for cryptology, we have what I call cryptography, and then we have this crypto analysis. And then you can see the job offer by NSA, National Security Alliance. I think this is USA organization. It's one of the core technical discipline. Job description of the crypto analysis. So basically, they offer this, but see the requirement. Use people with mathematics, computer programming, engineering, language skill. Right? I think most important this one, mathematics. Very, very important this one. So this is the job description of the NSA. Then the secret key is in the key. Okay, the longer the key, the better, the better the protection. That is simple rule, even though it's not always applied to different algorithm. Okay. Later you'll see some example. Okay, in the world of communication and networking, authentication, integrity, data communication are all implemented in many ways using various protocol algorithm. So the choice of protocol algorithm, they vary based on level of security required to meet the goal of the network security policy. So we can implement obviously you want to implement some protocol that are very, very secure, right? But then we have to remember, first either we say our system is capable to do that or not, because more some authentication, they need more processing power. So more processing power for your network devices. So whether we can cope, our device can cope with it or not. Or some algorithms are not allowed to be implemented in certain country. Actually, America, USA, they enforce that, this only certain algorithms are allowed. This is very strange, but it's true. Strange but true. Maybe you can find some reading about this. There are some algorithms they are not allowed to be implemented in some countries. Okay, this some of the example here. We have integrity, authentication, and confidentiality. Each one of these with some of the algorithm. Integrity, you know what is integrity. So MD5, SHA, we can implement this. There are a lot more, but these are things that we can implement in Cisco devices. And then in terms of authentication, the combination of hashmark and MD5, hashing with SHA, and then we can also use RSA, DSA. And then confidentiality, encryption, we have DES, 3DES, AES. Right? So you can read here for message integrity, MD5. So it's MD5, faster, but less secure than secure hash algorithm 2. For example, SSH 2. We have SSH 1, 2, and many more. Right? So if you want to have faster, you should use MD5. But the issue here basically is not secure as compared to SHA-2, right? And then if you want to implement confidentiality, we can implement using DES, 3DES, or the very secure AES, right? So we will look into each one of these here. So basic integrity, authenticity, cryptography hashes. Okay, we have plain text, and then we put some algorithm. Just now we see MD5, and also this which one? This part, SHA, right? MD5 and SHA. So we can use this algorithm, and then we will produce what we call the hashtag. So this is the this is what we call hashes are used for integrity assurance. As shown in the figure, a hash function takes binary data, call the message, produce a fixed length. This is very important, fixed length. Doesn't matter how long is your plain messages, either 1 letter or 1,000 letter, million letter, it will always produce the same length of the hash values, right? So that's why fixed length, condensed representation, what we call the hash. So beside hash, yeah, we also name this. Sometimes we also call them message digest, or even digital fingerprint. Okay, what is this hash? Basically, hashing is based on one-way mathematical function that is relatively easy to compute, but significantly harder to reverse. So basically, this is one way. This one way can go this way, but in order for it, it's still possible, but they say it's harder. Right? It's harder. So the hash is not the purpose of the hash is not for you to get back the real value. You just need the original message, and then you create the hash, and then we will get the hash value. On the receiving end, they will use the same function of this one, same hash function, and then they will perform the same process as well. And then they start to compare, okay, if the produced hash similar to what I'm producing, and then we know exactly that this is nothing changed here, right? Nothing changed here, right? Okay. So I think maybe I can, there's some website you can, okay, let me check. Yes, some website you can easily find MD5. Let me search MD5 online generator. MD5. Yeah? Okay, I think maybe this is one example. Okay, testing. I'll just copy some messages. Testing 1, 2, 3, and then we can generate. Your hash is this. Your string testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and then we create this hash. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's say I change one thing. Okay, notice this. Okay, I'll just copy this. Your hash value, I'll just copy. I want you to see. Okay, I change only one letter. Yeah, I change one letter, and then you see what happened. Okay, I put this in my notepad. Okay, I'll do the same thing now. Test. Okay, testing 1, 2, 4. So instead of 3, now become testing 1, 2, 4. I will generate again. Right. It's a bit slow now. Yeah. Testing 1 to 4. Okay. 1 to 4. Okay, generate. Okay, this is now the text, the hash value generated. I just want to compare these two. Okay, if you notice, I only change, instead of 3, I changed to 4. Yeah, I changed this to 4. And you can see now, you can see that the generated hash are totally different. There is no way you can tell that, okay, you are actually only changed this letter, okay? This letter 3 to 4. You can see that they're totally different. Okay, this is what the hash value. If I were to add longer, okay, instead of testing 1, 2, 3, I will try to put many longer text here. Somehow the network is a bit slow. Hold on. Okay, MD5 generator, I will do again. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. I repeat this, testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, test 1, 2, 3. So a bit longer, and then you notice that depend on the algorithm how many bits per key. Then you will see that, okay, even though I have longer text, right, but the the hash value generated, the length of the hash generated values are still the same length. Okay, so this is the explanation. And just now they say, okay, this one, the fixed length hash value, right? Okay, we have the text put inside the algorithm, yeah, function, and then this function will produce the hash value, right? This is what we are doing. So we have our plain text, and then we have the function or the algorithm we implemented on the text, and then we will generate the hash value or message digest. Okay, the use of it, for example, okay, we have this transaction over the internet. Pay to Alex 100 and whatever text here, and then this is the generated hash based on this input, right? But then somebody in between change this, instead of to Alex, now pay to Jeremy, but with add these values, new values. Okay? So these two, if you compare, you will definitely get different, different hash value. Just now, the example I gave, I changed from testing 1 to 3 to testing 1 to 4. You will totally get different hash value, right? Even one letter change. Right? So in this case, we can use this. This is one use case of it. Right? So basically, one is transfer this, and then we can see the difference if somebody have changed any of the contents. Right? This is what we call integrity. Right? Integrity MD5, SHA-1 and SHA-2. Hold on. What do you mean? The method, which method? Sorry, I just read the message just now. No.
I was referring to slide 17, Doctor.
17. Oh, yang tadi tu ya, all the the what I call 17 tadi ya. Okay, 17. Okay, this one is actually not to find the key. They are not finding the key, but they are trying to understand. Okay, what are the message sent, right? But brute force. Okay, I think this one is actually okay. They try to find the key, yes, but the rest they are not, right? The rest they are not. Okay, this one, yes, they find the key. The rest they are not finding the key, but they are just simply try to understand, okay, what are the ciphertext values. Okay, this one. Okay, Adam.
All right, thank you, Doctor.
Cryptography hashes, and then okay, integrity with MD5. Okay, okay, we can implement different algorithm here. We can use MD5. For example, MD5 we perform XOR function. Oops, sorry. Okay, SHA or maybe SHA-2, right? Okay, one-way function, and then we can have SHA, right? So what are these SHA? Okay, you can read them. Yeah, this is the standard by NIST. Sorry, this is the algorithm developed by NIST. Specify what I call SHA, and then SHA-1 published in 1994. Very, very old. I think most of you have not haven't born yet, maybe. Right? Corrected and unpublished flaw in the SHA-1. There's no SHA SHA-0, just SHA. There's one SHA-1 in 1994. Okay? So we don't know what happened to the SHA, but it's unpublished. We don't know what happened to it. The SHA design is very similar to MD5 hash function that Ron Rivers developed. Yeah. So this SHA-1, what is this SHA-1? This algorithm take a message of less than 2 to the power of 64 bits in length. Yeah. So if more than this one, meaning it has to be break the message, separate the message. right? And then perform the algorithm and then produces the 164 bit. Just now, this for MD5, you mentioned how many? 128 bit produced. Okay, 128 bit, right? But this one longer. Okay, we can try to find the in online, online hashing. For example, just now I search MD5 online, and then I only find this. If good, if you can find this comparison like this. So just one message you enter, and then you can see the different hash value generated by different hashing algorithm. Okay. For example, this MD5, SHA-1, or even SHA-256. So these two, the difference between these two, basically the key size. This one longer, as we said, longer means better, right? But the processing, we need higher processing power. Right? Authenticity with hashmag. Yeah. So we can have, or recall, we use hashmag, this one hash, but now we add our secret key into it. Yeah? Now we have added secret key into our message. Instead of simple plain message, perform the hash function, you get this hash value. Now we add our secret key inside the message, and then only we perform this hash function. This is what we call keyed hash message authentication code. Right? So in cryptography, a key hash message authentication code, or we call hashmag or K-hashmag, is a type of message authentication code. Hashmag use an additional secret key as an input to the hash function. So this will add authentication to the integrity assurance. Yeah? So basically we have now two. We have integrity plus authenticity, both. Why is it authenticity? Because we are the one who enter the secret key. Nobody knows about the secret key. So we are the one who can authenticate. Non-repudiation, just now, remember? Yeah? So, and hashmag is calculated using specific algorithm, combines cryptographic hash function with a secret key as shown in the figure, and then hash function are the basic mechanism hashmag. So same hash function, but then now the only difference now we added our secret key. Okay, the use case of this, for example, okay, we have this transaction, same transaction, and then we added our secret key, and then put inside the hash function, and then we will generate the message digest or hashing message. Yeah, and then this original message, together with the hash generated, will be sent to the recipient. Okay, this is the sender. And then the other side recipient. Okay, now we separate this. Okay, this is the message. Yeah, the first portion. And then the second portion will be compared with the generated message from this same operation given here. So both ends must have the same secret key. Both ends must have same secret key. And then they perform the same operation to the data using the same function. And then it will generate the hash values. And then the one that is received compare with the one that is generated. If the same, mean we know that this is not altered, and then we can also authenticate that that the sender is the one who sent the message, because only both end knows about this key, right? And then hashing Cisco product. So in Cisco product we use this. Hashing as well. They give example. Shown in the figure, Cisco product use hashing for entity authentication, for data integrity, and data authenticity purposes. For example, Cisco IIS router, they use hashing with secret key in a hashmag-like manner to add authentication information to the routing protocol updates. So later you will configure routing. I think you should have done this, yeah, in I can't remember what chapter, but then we can add key to it. Yeah? Okay, this is what I tried to explain. Key in a form like hashmag like manner, yeah, to authenticate, so that the recipient will that have the same key will perform this this operation and check whether it will generate the same hash values, right? Okay, this is to do with the Cisco routers, yeah. And then we will implement IPsec. Yeah? We will learn about IPsec later. You will notice many of these algorithms that we will use inside the IPsec, yeah, IP security. And then Cisco software images that are downloaded from cisco.com have ND5 based checksum available so that the customer can check the integrity of the downloaded software. I think you notice many software that are shared in the internet, they will give you the hash value as well and the key value, so that you will perform the operation and then check whether the one that is given to you is similar with the one that you generated, right? So all these things we can perform that online, right, using whatever algorithm that they mention. So these are the use case of all this by Cisco, right? And then key management. These are very important aspect. You know that, okay, we want to share key. That key must be generated and then it must be verified. It must be how we want to exchange the key, how do you want to store the key, and then how long the key is valid, and then how we want to revoke the key, and then how do you want to destroy the key. So these are part of what they call key management. Yeah, the key management in the what they call internet transaction. Yeah, so these are several characteristics of the key management that we need to consider, right? And then the key length and key space. We learn about AES, advanced what they call advanced encryption standard. The release in 2001. This is considered symmetric. The key size, the speed is quite high. The time to crack theoretically will take this years. Yeah, assuming a computer could try 255 key per second, and then with the AES, we may take this years to crack in order for you to find the key, right? And then resource consumption very low. Okay? And then there are terms that describe the key. For the key length, also called the keys. These are key length, key size in bits. We are either 128, 192, 256 for AES. A different implementation, we have different key size. Yeah? Okay. And then the key space, okay, if we use this, so how many key space are possible? 2 to the power of 128 possible keys if we use 128 bit. If we use 192, so meaning we have 192, 2 to the power of 192 space, key space, yeah? Okay, the key length is 192, the key space is 2 to the power. Okay, this explains about the key space, right? So just add 1 bit, we will have double of the total number of possible keys, or what you call key space. So how many of this? I know this is million, billion. So now I don't know, trillion, I don't know, yeah? So 72, how many of this? Anyone can check this, how many? I know, okay, 1,000, 100,000, million, billion, trillion, and then after this, oh no, okay. Okay, just add 1 key, you can see the key space change. So how important is the 1 bit size here? Okay, types of cryptographic key. Okay, just now I mentioned briefly about symmetric key. We are going to look into this: asymmetric key, digital signature, and also hash keys. These are what we call categorized under cryptographic keys. Yeah, several types of cryptographic keys can be generated. Symmetric key can be exchanged between 2 routers supporting a VPN, for example. Yeah? So use case of it. Asymmetric keys are used in secure HTTPS. Digital signature are used when connecting to a secure website. Yeah, you access your CIMB account or your Maybank account. You notice the key symbol. Try to click on that key symbol, and then you make sure when you access banking site, for example, you make sure they always have this key symbol. Right? And then hash value are used in symmetric and asymmetric key generation, digital and digitalization, and other types of algorithm. So this will be used under all this. All this will use this hash key. Okay, symmetric key, the protection up to 3 years, you need to have the size of 80 bit. For asymmetric key, 128 to get up to 3 years. I don't know, this is from Cisco, our Cisco curriculum. So not sure whether these are still valid here nowadays. Okay, so I assume that, okay, the longer key here, meaning you are going to get more years of protection. Okay, that's basic idea. But is it 80 for 3 years now? Okay, that's why maybe you can check, because now our computing are very, very fast nowadays, right? And then digital signature, and then the hash to get how length, the length of the key to get the 3 years, and then how long is the key to get for 10 years, what is the length of the key to get 20 years, and so on. So these are all different. As you see, symmetric key relatively smaller as compared to the rest. So that's why actually very important for us. Okay, we want to use symmetric key, but the issue now how you want to distribute the key. Then there's solution given in the internet. Actually, we will use symmetric key in our operation, but then we don't do anything. But then the algorithm will perform the key exchange. At the end, both ends will have the same key that we use for our symmetric key. Okay, later we'll look into some of the example. Okay, choosing this cryptographic key. So obviously, a longer key more secure, shorter key less secure. But then in terms of processing, shorter key are faster processing, this slow processing. Okay, we want to have more secure, right? We want to have more secure. But then in terms of processing, okay, this is faster processing time. This is faster. In terms of the security, this is better, right? Okay, confidentiality. By performing encryption, we will get the confidentiality. Nobody can read your message. Yeah, so we have symmetric encryption algorithm. We have asymmetric. Now we compare between these two. Symmetric will have both. They should have some example. Okay, later. Okay, sorry. So best known as share secret algorithm, or this one known as public key algorithm. The usual key length, and the example that we seen just now between this the key, and then for the asymmetric between this length, right? The sender and receiver must share a secret key. A sender and receiver do not share a secret key. This is very important. You may ask, okay, how come you don't have the same key, but then you manage to encrypt and decrypt? Later we'll look into how we can do this, right? So algorithms are usually quite fast. Why speed? Because they are based on simple mathematical operation. This is relatively slow as compared to this symmetric, because they are based on this difficult computational algorithm. So these are example: DES, 3DES, AES, EDIA, RC, Blowfish. There's many more. These are other example for our asymmetric: RSA, Elgamal, elliptic curve, Diffie-Hellman. Yeah? There are some others as well. So symmetric means you use the same key. Asymmetric, we don't use the same key. Right? So we have the same secret key. This one we don't have the secret key. Right? That's the main difference between these two. Okay, the example of symmetric key algorithm. Okay, we have this transaction. We will use our key to encrypt, and then we will get the ciphertext, the hash, the ciphertext value. And then in order for us to get the original message back, we have to use the same key. Okay, and this key has to be shared, pre-shared key. Yeah? We have to share this. Later, when we configure IP security, we will play around on this. So we will configure and assume that both ends have the key already. So we have to enter exactly the same key on both ends of the router, router 1, router 2, and then we want to implement VPN, IP security, IPsec. We will configure pre-share key, we configure pre-share key here. So exactly the same key. This is what we call symmetric algorithm. Yeah? Symmetric means they have to have exactly the same key, and then it has to be shared. Yeah? Okay, it has to be shared. And then for the asymmetric key, you will use one key for encryption, but you will use different key for decryption. Yeah. So this is really the beauty of it that make our internet transaction now possible. Right? We have one key that we can give to everyone, for example, and then this is the key that we keep secret, nobody knows. So everybody that want to communicate with me, okay, use that key. Use that what you call public key. Later we'll see the term public key, private key. Yeah? So use that public key. I am the one who have the another key that will be able to unlock the message. Okay, secret key. So this is known to everyone. This is only me know it. Yeah? Or the other way around. Okay, there are some application. Okay, the other way around. Right? But you encrypt with private key. The rest of the people will use your public key to decrypt the message. That is also possible, right? So this is the beauty of the asymmetric algorithm encryption, right? So this made possible by the algorithm devised by, later we will see this. Yeah. Okay, symmetric algorithm encryption, as we mentioned, okay, same key on both ends. We have dash, triple dash. From the name, this you can guess. Actually, it performs 3 times of dash. Yeah? Encryption, decryption, encryption again. Yeah? Okay, the key size 56, and then this two size. AES will have this size, and then we have newer version newer algorithm seal, right? With this size. This one it says very fast as compared to the rest, right? And then we have RC series. There are more than this. Yeah, you can see in the Wikipedia more than this, right? RC reverse cipher. Reverse cipher. This is name of the person who invent this, right? Good, well known. These are well known encryption algorithm that use symmetric key. Okay, these are all the common encryption algorithm in the key length. The common encryption and the common key length used. Yeah? So there are many other symmetric algorithms such as Blowfish, Twofish, Threefish, Serpent, and many more. And however, this protocol are either not supported on Cisco platform. So that's why if you run your Cisco devices, okay, you cannot enter this or this because they are not supported inside this iOS version. Yeah, this is not your iOS. Yeah? So they are not supported. That's why we don't have this option. But just remember that these are all possible encryption algorithm that we can use instead of all this. Right? Instead of this. So there are many others that we can use as well. And then symmetric block cipher and SIM cipher. Okay, this is block. They perform block by block of equal size. Right? If the message is not enough, for example, only 30 bit, and then it has to be padded until it becomes 64 bit. Let's say only 30, and then it has to be added another 30 to become 34. So in order to become 64 bit, right? So these are all performed block by block. This is what we call block cipher. And then another one they call it SIM cipher, right? They perform bit by bit at a time. Bit by bit, perform on every single bit, and then get the encrypted message. This one perform on every single block and get the encrypted messages. So the two different symmetric cipher, either block or string. And then choosing encryption algorithm. Okay, should we use dash now? Shouldn't. We shouldn't use dash anymore because this is not secure. So we should use 3 dash. Because this is now replaced by 3 dash. So the algorithm adequately protect against brute force attack. This is no. So that's why we shouldn't use dash anymore. But these two still possible. Yeah, yes, because people will take very long time in order for them to break the key. Okay? And then for this, they say it's still ongoing evaluation, right? This one trusted by community, right? Okay, so data encryption tunnel DES. Okay? So DES, we know we have 3 DES. So the original one DES, the very old, standard 1976. Yeah, symmetric is 56-bit, speed is medium, and 60-bit blocks. So this one's DES algorithm is a sequence of permutation substitution of data bit, combined with encryption key. The same algorithm and key are used for encryption, and again because they are considered symmetric key, so they have to use exactly the same key in order for them to encrypt and decrypt. And then DES, as we know, is replaced by 3 DES. So with 3 DES, you will use 3 keys in order for you to encrypt or decrypt the message. So we can see 3 DES in 1977, in 1 year after DES. This is considered symmetric. The size of the key is this, and then the speed is a bit lower, and then the time to crack is very long. 4.6 billion years. Billion years. Yeah? Okay, it's not this very long. Yeah, visual comprehension is medium. Yeah, and then the operation is this key 1, key 2, key. They are different key. Yeah? They are not the same key. The first one will perform encrypt. The second one with the second key will perform decrypt. The third key will perform encrypt again, and then you will get the ciphertext. But in order for you to get back the original message, okay, this same message, we have to perform the other way around now. This is our ciphertext. Yeah? We have our ciphertext, and then start with key 3. Now we decrypt. This one we encrypt. Yeah? This one we decrypt. Okay? This one we encrypt, and then this one we decrypt. And then decrypt, this one we encrypt with key 2, same key. Right? And then this one, since we encrypt here, and then the other one is decrypt. So basically EDE, the other one is DED. Right? DED. Okay. This is what you call, why we call it 3 DES. They are using the same, exactly the same algorithm, but then only they perform 3 times with 3 different keys. Right? So then when we have in 1997 AES, okay, AES, the public was initiated to propose encryption scheme to replace DES. Okay, this is what is the purpose of AES. Right? After a 5-year standardization process, in which 15 competing designs were presented and evaluated, and then US NIST selected the Rijndael block cipher as the AES algorithm. So I believe they did a competition, and then all this group they design. Okay, what is this AES algorithm will be? So they choose at the end. They choose this Rijndael block cipher. So this is a official standard since 2001. This is still symmetric key. The different key size. The speed is very high. This is the good things about AES. And then the time to crack similar with 3 DES. Yeah? And then resource consumption is very low. If you notice 3 DES medium, this is low. So in terms of speed, it is considered very fast. Okay? And then the summary you can use find online as well. Okay, we have this password. Enter the password. You enter the text, and then you will get the encrypted key. Okay? But now if you change the key, this exactly spell the same key, but then this is capital letter, and then you will get sorry, this one, okay, this one actually they try to decrypt the message, yeah, decrypt the message, sorry. They try to decrypt the message, but with wrong key. This is considered wrong key. This is the correct key. Okay? So using the wrong key, you will get, you won't be able to read the message. Right? But using the correct key, then we will get back the message. Yeah, if you notice here, this example actually just to highlight, okay, there's not the same small letter as compared to capital letters. Okay, we know this in our daily life as well, isn't it? You log in to your account, so capital letter is not equal to the small letter, right? And then alternative encryption algorithm. Yeah, alternative encryption algorithm. We have SEAL, right? Software optimized encryption algorithm. Yeah, SEAL has several restrictions. The Cisco must support both. This why both end must. They say this one. I just accept this. Yeah, I don't do any further research on this. So in order for you to implement this, both end must support IPsec. They say. And then the Cisco router and the other peer must also run images that can support this encryption. Yeah, they can support the encryption. Both and also support the SEAL algorithm as well. Right? So first, they must support IPsec. Second, they must support encryption. In both end, they must support encryption. And then the router and peer must not have hardware IPsec encryption. So everything must be hardware based. Yeah. So iOS is hardware based, right? So they don't have hardware based encryption because this is software, because this is run on software. This is considered software, right? So the year published 1994. Yeah. Current version is 3. Symmetric size, the speed is very high, unknown but considered very safe, and then low compression score. This is considered very fast, right? And then RC algorithm, Ronald reverse ciphertext algorithm. The timeline, okay, RC2 in 1987, RC4 same year, RC5, because this one same year. One is for block, the other one is for stream cipher. Actually, now the option is to use to use block cipher. Okay, and then in terms of the key size. Okay, guys, you don't have to memorize this, but you know that okay, they have different key size. They will cater different requirement, different speed, different security, right? Diffie-Hellman key exchange. Okay, this is very interesting. I mentioned earlier. Okay, how is it possible for us to exchange the secret key? Okay? So this is what we call we study under Diffie-Hellman. Yeah, in 1970, this is considered asymmetric key. The size of the key, and then the speed very slow. Resource consumption considered medium. Time to unknown, but considered safe using key of this higher. So we use bigger key, so it's considered safer, right? Okay, the operation of this Diffie-Hellman, at the end, okay, I want you to check. This is now at the end, yeah. Alice, okay, this is on Alice side, this is on Bob side, yeah. So both end. So at the end, both will generate a key, which is 2. By performing, okay, they don't share this key, but at the end, both end, they do some calculation, and then they manage to calculate and then manage to get the same key. Okay, this is only simple example. In the real actual case, it's not going to be number 5, number 20. It's going to be very, very long key. Yeah? Okay, this one just for us to really easily understand. For Alice side, so we have what they call shared key. Okay, both ends will share this key. So exactly, okay, I can send. Okay, I want to communicate with Bob. Alice want to communicate with Bob, so Alice send. Okay, I'll send this both key to Bob. Right. So basically, both will have exactly the same key. So this is not problem because we don't use this key at the end. Okay, and then the second step, both will perform the same, exactly the same function. And then the second step, Alice will select its own key, secret. This is not known except by Alice. And then Bob will also select its own secret key, not known to Alice. And then the operation, third step, both, these two shared, isn't it, just now? And then both will perform using the key that they choose, and then they will generate some values, modulus value here, right? Similarly, on this Alice Bob side, it will perform exactly the same function and generate this sum modulus value, right? On this side as well, actually on this side as well. Yeah? So, but remember, this is secret, only known to Alice, only known to Bob, right? Okay, and then the fourth step, fourth step is consider now Bob do the same calculation. Okay, what Alice do, it perform the calculation, and then the value is shared to Bob. This value shared to Alice, and then Alice will use this value and then do on the what I call to the power of the secret key, perform exactly the same modulus of the key that they share together, and then at the end they will generate the key. Okay, at the end, interestingly, both end will have exactly the same key too. They don't send this on the internet. They don't send this on the communication line, but at the end they manage to get the key, right? Okay, guys. Okay, public key cryptography, and then now we are going to look how we can use this here. Okay, there are 4 protocols that use asymmetric key algorithm, IKE. Later we will configure IPsec, IP security. Then we are going to configure this internet key exchange. IKE is part of IP security, okay, in next chapter, right? And then secure socket layer. I think you know about this, SSL. And then we have SSH. If you notice, you configure your router, and then you run the crypto generate, yeah, and then you use PuTTY, and then you connect to your router, and then you see, okay, you want to make connection, there is a message here, okay, you want to accept the key. Okay, you are actually, we are performing this, we are accepting the key, public key of the router, right? We are accepting the public key of the router. Okay. Only when you accept the key, then you can start performing the SSH, right? If not, you won't be able to do that. So that's why we accept the key, okay? And then only we can communicate securely with the router. And then we can also, you can use, use the software PGP, pretty good privacy. And then you can encrypt your message, your file, and then send to your friend, for example, using this pretty good privacy. That also implement using asymmetric key algorithm. So these are all use case of the asymmetric key, right? So as we know, okay, we have plaintext, we perform the encryption using one key, and then we have the encrypted text, but then we perform decryption using different key. That's why they give different color here. One is green, yellow, to represent different keys. At the end, we will get exactly the same plaintext, right? And then public key plus private key, we will get what we call confidentiality. And now you try to imagine, now we want to apply this in our internet communication, yeah, internet connection communication. So one side we will use public key, the other side they have their own private key, and then we combine both, we will get what we call confidentiality. Why? For example, Alice want to communicate with Bob, right? So what happened? Alice will ask, okay, can you give me your public key? Public key, public should be known to public, no issue, right? But they shouldn't give the private key. Private key should remain private. So Alice now will perform the encryption using the Bob public key, and then only Bob knows how to decrypt the message because Bob have the private key. Okay? So this is why we say we will achieve this confidentiality by having both public and private key. Okay. Right. So private key and public key, so same thing. Okay, we will use here. So Alice want to send something, and then it will use Bob public key. Okay? This is Alice, Alice N. This is Bob N. Right. So what happened? Alice will use Bob public key, perform the encryption, and then the encrypted text, and then this encrypted text will be sent to Bob, and then Bob will use the encrypted text received from Alice, and then use its own private key. This is private key, and then perform the encryption algorithm, and then we'll get the original text back. So by doing this, so basically we will achieve what we call confidentiality. People in the middle, even though they manage to capture the message, if they don't have the key, they won't be able to read the message. Let's say somebody managed to capture the message here. They managed to capture the message. But then it will get the encrypted text. Unless it has the key, then only it can get back the original message. Okay, private key plus public key, we are now achieving authenticity. Okay, the sequence, remember the sequence here. You use the private key plus the public key will get what we call confidentiality, right? But here we want to use the same thing, private key and then public key, but then we want to achieve authenticity. Okay, just now remember when we say, okay, Alice want to communicate with Bob, you want to achieve confidentiality. Okay, Alice will request Bob public key. But now, okay, you see the other way now. Okay, this is a message, and then Alice use its own private key. This is Alice, only Alice have this, right? And then perform the encryption algorithm, and then we'll get the encrypted text. Okay, this will be sent to Bob, but Bob first, it must have a public key of Alice. This is the previous, the initial transaction. Before it can do this, it has to get this. Okay, can I get the public key? Here is my public key. So basically Bob asks, okay, Alice, give me your public key, and Alice send, okay, this is my public key. And then Bob will use Alice's public key, and then it will get back the original message. Okay, why we say this authenticity? We are authenticating that the message actually come from Alice. And there's no way the message, this is what we call non-repudiation. There's no way Alice can repudiate that she is not the one who sent the message. And because only Alice have the private key, and we have Alice public key, right? Okay, you try to compare between these two, how they get confidentiality and how they get the authenticity. And then how we can use the asymmetric algorithm. Yeah, when sending a message that requires messages, confidentiality, authenticity, and integrity, the combination of the two encryption phases are necessary. Okay? I think a lot of grammar mistakes. These are copy from our curriculum. Yeah? Grammar mistake. Okay, Alice encrypt messages using Bob public key. When using this, so we are now achieving confidentiality, right? Because only Bob will be able to read the message, right? So first we achieve this confidentiality. Okay? So Alice have the text, it will encrypt using Bob public key, perform the algorithm, whatever algorithm we choose, and then we get the encrypted text. So Alice encrypt a hash using Bob. This is actually mistake from the original message from text. I think this one should be Alice because this is Alice public key. So Alice will encrypt the hash using Alice. Okay, they will encrypt this. Okay, sorry, the hash, perform the hash on the original type message, and then using Alice, its own private key, and then perform the encryption algorithm, and then it will encrypted hash. This is the encrypted tag. This is the encrypted hash. So by Alice using the private key, this is now we are achieving authenticity and also integrity. Because we know that now this is hashing. We are sending hash values, right? Okay, take note of that, yeah. And then Bob will use Alice public key to decrypt the hash, right? And then encrypted hash using Alice public key, because Alice used its private key to encrypt the hash. Encrypt the tag, become the hash, yeah? And then it will use this, and then you decrypt and then get the hash value. And then Bob will use his public key to decrypt the message. Yeah? So the encrypted tag send, this is encrypted hash, right? And then Bob used the public key, perform the same algorithm, and then you will get the original text. Now from this original tag, it can perform the hash function. We'll get the hash values, hash text. Now we can start to compare. Are they the same hash values or not? Okay, this is how we can use this too. And then types of asymmetric algorithm, Diffie-Hellman, or the key length. Okay, what information here? Okay, there's RSA, L-Gamal, elective curve. There's so many other algorithms. Maybe not that many. There's some others as well, right? The digital signature. Okay, this is the properties. Signature is authentic. Sorry. What times are we now? 2:33. Okay. Signature is authentic. Is unalterable. Signature is not reusable. Signature cannot be repudiated. Yeah. So these are basically the characteristic of digital signatures. So digital signature we use in the internet. Yeah. Okay. So these are the characteristic of our digital signatures. So digitally signing code provides several assurances about the code. Okay. I think you come across with this. We call digitally signing code. So meaning we know that the code is authentic. It is given by the publisher, and then we know that the integrity aspect of the code it's not been modified since it's left. And then the publisher is undeniable, publish the code, non-repudiation. Cannot deny that the publisher is the one who give us the code. So this is what we call under code signing. Code signing, right? And then digital certificate, you can equate this to our certificate. This is example of CCNA. If you sit for the CCNA exam, the real exam, not our online exam. Later, if you intend to sit for the CCNA security as well, I really encourage you to do so, right? But you have to have your CCNA first. You need to sit for your CCNA, and then you have your almost sit. I have my own certificate. Where is it? I put somewhere my CCNA certificate, and then it gives you this. So this equate to whatever our digital certificate. The issue, who issued this? This issue to who? To Bob. Maybe later your name here. And then who issued this? This is the authority that issued this. And then the expiry date and the duration that is this certificate is considered valid, right? Okay. This is the what you call digital certificate, right? Actually, if you maybe I can quickly show you the. Let's say you click on your MD has H generator just now. Okay, let's say you go to your Chimbank, Chimbank. You notice this key. I mentioned you about this lock. You can click this. I think you can click on this, Okay, you can see information here. The certificate is sent by the following purposes, provide you identity and whatever it is, okay? And then who issued this? So who is the issued to, yeah? To the cimbclick.com.my. So exactly the one that we type here. And then who issued this? Issued by Global Sign. Yeah? And then the duration of the validity of the certificate. Right? I think you can go other detail as well. Yeah? What algorithm that they use. This is version 3. Who issued this? The duration of the validity. The public key 2048. Yeah? And so on. And so many information that maybe you can read on this. So this is what they tried to explain here just now. Yeah? Okay, who is the authority? Certificate authority. Issue to who? Yeah? At the validation date. Yeah? So we can equate this to our digital certificate. Yeah? So exactly this is why they call it certificate as well. Yeah? But now the difference is digital. This is digital certificate. So how we can use this digital certificate? So sending a digital certificate. For example, here we have this confirm order by Bob. Bob will perform the hash, and then Bob will encrypt with his own private key, and then we'll get the hash value. Okay, the order plus the encrypted hash, this is considered the signature, right? Because it's already signed by Bob using his private key. Okay, this will be sent to the recipient, and then what the recipient will do, okay, they separate these two. These two are sent in clear text, doesn't matter, because it's confirm order in clear text. This one can be sent in clear text as well, right? So now the recipient will separate this. Okay, one, okay, the original message, the confirm order. The other one is the signature itself, right? So they separate these two, right? And then on the confirm order, it performs exactly the same process. Hashing will get this value, right? And then signature verified. Okay, this is now Alice because this is exactly the same one. Yeah? The green, actually this purple one is inside this one. Confirm order plus this, yeah? Plus this hash values. So confirm order plus the hash values inside here. Perform the value, and then the one that is received is equal. So you know now, okay, this is this is valid on this side, yeah. And then on the other part, okay, Bob will perform. Yeah, Bob will perform what they call the decryption using now it's okay, sorry, it's Alice. This is Alice. Because now Alice will use Bob public key to perform the decryption and then check the result. Check the result, and then it should be similar to the one it received. Yeah. Oh, sorry, this is 1C. Okay, this is the one that you received. It should be similar to the one it received. Okay. All right. Okay, maybe I'm confusing you. Okay, they don't have to send this. They just perform this and then they get this. Okay, this one should no need to send actually, yeah, because this guy Alice is performing the same function here. At the end, they will compare the values, whatever sign and then receive the same, right? Okay, this is how the use case of digital certificate. Digital signature algorithm. We have RSA. And then we have DSA. Okay, this is Ron Rivers, Adi, Samir, Len Edelman. After the names of these three guys. Ron Rivers, Samir, and Edelman. Yeah? So the three surname, the same name of these three people, RSA. And then timelines in 1977. This is symmetric algorithm. This is the length. The verification fast is very low. The advantage also, I think this one's similar, fast. There's no point to compare if they both are faster. Description, and then this is quite recent in 1994. DSA, digital signature algorithm. Type of algorithm provide digital signature. They don't explain. Strange. Okay, never mind. The key also they don't show you. Okay, maybe you can find out about this. Yeah. So, two example of digital signature algorithm, RSA or DSA. And then public key infrastructure. Okay, we can equate this to our driving license. Okay, you want to make this driving license, you will go to the authority. Alice apply driving license. The authority here receive a driving license after identity is proven. They need to prove the identity, then only they give you the license. Okay? I think if you go to, in Malaysia, we go to what they call JPJ, for example. You need to verify because you put your IC and also your thumb. Now this. They need you to prove that you are the one who claim to be. So you have to fill your thumbprint, and then they automatically will come out, say that, okay, you are verified. Right? So, and then her identity is accepted after her driver license is checked. Okay. So Alice attempt to cash a check, right? And then I think in overseas, they can use driving license as a proof of identity. In Malaysia, you have to use your ID card, isn't it? Your IC. You cannot be if your what I call your driving license, go to the bank and then they give you the money. No. Okay, you have to use the IC. Right? But we can apply the similar concept here. You apply for your IC and then you have to go to the authority. The authority will verify you, and then at the end they will give you your IC. Right? Okay, the PKI framework, we have what I call whatever your certificate you store inside your own local database, your local PC. They call it certificate store. You store your own certificate inside your PC. And then you receive your certificate from this certificate authority. And then the certificate authority will have the database to keep all the certificate of all the clients. Okay? So all these three main components of the PKI from Public Key Infrastructure Framework. Okay, and then example here. Okay, you want to communicate with Alice. Okay, both ends have to first they have to request the certificate. So first, before they both can communicate, Alice want to communicate with Bob. So both ends must have the digital certificate. So they will get the certificate from the certificate authority, the database here. So they keep all the information about all the certificate, database. And then, okay, both ends will get, okay, this is your certificate, and then this is your, Alice also have their own certificate. But how can Alice verify both certificate? It will contact the certificate authority. Okay, can you verify the certificate that I received from Bob? Yeah, and then certificate authority will reply, okay, this is considered valid certificate. Okay, exchange of PKI certificate. So if both ends communicate, they need to exchange certificate. Okay, certificate authorities, they have classes, different classes of authorities. 5 is the most difficult one to get, basically given to private organization or governmental security company only. Okay? So how they will give you based on your ID. You need to prove that you are from the government security agency, and you need to have maybe some authority that signed the letter in order for them to verify and so on. Yeah? So most difficult to get is basically this one. It's considered more secure. Besides that, we have user used for testing purposes, class 0. Used for individual with a focus of verify email, class 1. You buy the certificate, but then in terms of how they valid, it's maybe over the phone. You send them document and then they validify you. So for user use. So certificate class 1. They also require, and maybe for organization now, class 2. Used for server software signing, class 3. Used for online business transaction. So I imagine maybe those Shopee, Lazada, I think you all very, very familiar with both these two. They will use this class of certificate. Right? So many vendors provide CA server, as managed service. For example, VeriSign, Comodo, GoDaddy, GlobalSign. I think just now, okay, who issued the certificate to our CIMB? Let me quickly check. I think forgot to check just now. CIMB, we go back here, certificate. Who will give GlobalSign? Okay, I forgot the name. GlobalSign, right? The GlobalSign that produced you, they give us this, give the CIMB the certificate, right? So GlobalSign is one of the CA authority, certificate authorities that we recognize, that we produce, that give you the certificate. So everyone have to recognize some organization that is considered a valid CA authority. Okay, so CA, especially those they are outsourced, can issue certificate of a number of classes which determine how trust certificate is. So as example of figure 1, right? And then interoperability of different PKI. Since there are so many vendors, so many people develop PKI certificate, and so many people implement their own CA authority. So there are issues in terms of interoperability. So that's why the international body, they come forward to produce a standard, to produce a standard of PKI, public key infrastructure vendors, for all vendors to follow. Because we very important, just imagine you, when we study TCP/IP, we know this is the standard used by people in the internet. So that is why we are able to communicate with people all over the world using TCP/IP, using whatever application implemented TCP/IP. Right. So similarly with PKI, okay, since there are so many vendors, they have their own implementation. So the issue now is in terms of interoperability. You, for example, I want to communicate with you. For all of you. So each one of you implement different types of CA. So, and every single one have their own way of protocol of communication. You have your own message format and so on. So impossible for us to communicate. Now we are talking different languages. So impossible for us to communicate. That's why very important to have the standard. Okay, these are example of the standard that's already implemented, SSL for email server that are used the public key infrastructure, EAP, TLS, for example, in Cisco Secure ACS, and then we have in our IPsec. So all these apply, we use the PKI standard, right? These two areas, the IETF format, PKI X509, right? Work group dedicated to promoting a standardizing PKI on the internet, right? So they produce the standard so that we can communicate. So these are all these standard. Standard, for example, a package, PK, public key cryptography standard number 1 that define RSA cryptography standard. I think maybe we will look into this, the example, these two, later after the slide. Cryptography message syntax. So how you put your messages. So they have the message syntax. And then the certification request syntax standard. So you are requesting the certificate. Okay, what syntax should we use? Okay, the example is here. We use 7 and then we use the request syntax. The certificate, we are requesting the certificate authority, the certificate. So how do you want to do that? Okay, we have to put them into message. So we follow the standard. Okay, if you want to request, and then we follow the standard of this PKCS number 10. And then if you want to send the message, okay, we follow this standard using this PKCS standard, PKCS number 7 standard. So everyone will use the same standard Now doesn't matter whoever implementing their own CA, and then they can we can interoperate among each other, right? Because we use exactly the same standard. Okay, there are how we distribute the certificate. So we have several different options. Maybe we have single root PKI topology. So everyone have to request from one single root. The possible implementation, yeah. I say possible topologies of PKI, public key infrastructure. Okay, single root. So everybody have to refer to one. But this one, we have cross-certified CA. So we have many CA, CA number 1, CA number 2, CA number 3. So if I want to communicate with somebody that register under CA number 2, so both end they can verify, cross-certified. That's why they say cross-certified CA, right? So because this certificate produced by CA number 2, this one produced by vendor CA number 1, right? So they have different certificate by different vendor, but we can verify by using what they call cross-certified. So each CA, they communicate with each other using the PKCI standard just now we mentioned, and then we can verify. So it doesn't matter who you register with, so we can communicate using the PKI topology, yeah, PKI certificate. And we can also have what I call is hierarchical CA topology shown here. So we have root, and then we have what we call here subordinate. They call it subordinate CA. Okay, subordinate CA. So all these basically have to communicate with the root as well. Every time have to verify if how they will verify is through the same root. Registration authority. So you enroll request, user send here, RA will forward to the certificate authority, and then CA will forward the certificate, issue the certificate to the requester here. This is what I call registration authority. Then the certificate and CA, okay, use case. If you want to communicate, okay, every single one will have their own certificate first. So retrieving CA certificate. First, before you can communicate, you want to make sure that CA is also valid, right? So you will retrieve the certificate of the CA itself. So everybody will get the CA certificate, right? And then submitting certificate requesting to it. Now only we can register. Now I want to register. I want to register using the certificate that you receive from CA, right? So everybody have to first, they will get the CA certificate from the sender. Okay, I think that is all. Okay, this is the end. Before that, okay, after that only, so everybody now they can communicate with each other. They can exchange the certificate, for example. So there is no CA involved after this. No need. The CA only involved at the beginning. At the beginning here, okay, CA will involve. You want to register your certificate. First, we have to get our certificate authority certificate first. CA certificate, CA certificate. Then only after that, you can use the CA certificate in order for you to request your own certificate, or you want to request some other people's certificate. Right? Because now you have the key of the CA, right? Public key, right? And then after that only now, okay, we don't have to involve CA anymore. Now we can communicate between two end user here. Okay, I think that is all for today. I know it's very long. I believe most of you fallen asleep already, right? Ada lagi guys sedang berjaga tak? Ke semua dah tidur ni?
Ada lagi doktor.
Oh, ada lagi?
Belum lagi doktor.
Okay. Baru terjaga kan?
Okay,
okay, guys. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Okay, please sign your attendance. Okay, maybe I can quickly highlight this again. Sign your attendance. Group assignment deadline by week 11. And then individual assignment. And then online test. I forgot things that I forgot to put here. Online final. And I will give you the date, right? And then the chapter you need to submit by week 9. This is the latest one that you need to submit, chapter 1 to 7. Okay, some people ask, okay, what was the format for your submission? Okay, you don't have to, for packet tracer, okay, you save the PKA file, you send the PKA file, right? You don't have to send me the Word file. I don't want to read. I believe you can find the answer. There are answer people share in the internet, even the lab also. I don't want to read them anymore because you can easily find the answer. Okay, and then what I want you to send is basically this. Yeah, two files. First is basically your file 1 is basically, okay, you have your, okay, this is, you start with this, network security, semester 2, your lab number and title, and then your name. So that I know, if I downloaded the file, I know, okay, who am I checking, yeah? Whose file am I reading? Okay, and then you need to send your screenshot of your GNS topology with device name and interface label. Right? You create your topology already. Okay, you capture that, but please put the label name and the device name as well. And then you list the detail of the following. For example, iOS version, what device that you use. And then the end devices. For example, you use vPC, and then you just virtual PC. Or maybe if you use any Docker Linux, or if you use networker tools, so you just mention them. Right, networker tools you use for end devices as well. So I know if I want to replicate, okay, I can do exactly the same thing. Okay, and then list of the tests conducted. Okay, there are so many things that you need to do, but the things that you need to show is basically, I just want to show that the things work, right? Okay, you as of now, okay, you decide, okay, what things that you, when you show, you know, if people read, they know that it's going to, you know that it's, the lab work. Okay, so you just take screenshot, maybe your ping, right, to show that, okay, you have end-to-end connection. For example, that's good enough for that lab to prove that it's the things work. Okay, then fine, yeah. And then finally, the device configuration. So list the configuration that you type, basically show run, you capture that, but you can delete most of the syntax there, except the one that you enter. Right? There are some default, isn't it? Some default. You show run, there are some default already inside the configuration. Okay, you can remove the one that's not related to your configuration. And then, for example, router 1. So you give label configuration for router 1, and then you list them, right? And then configuration for router 2, list them. Configuration for switch 1, then you list them. But only things that you need, you configure. You don't have to copy everything, right? So that's easy for me to read as well. Okay, and then the second part is basically you will export your GNS3. Okay, in GNS file export portable project, tick on include the snapshot, see the set your file name. For example, using your metric number, lab number. So this is the screenshot. Yeah, export the project. You give this your number, metric number, lab number, and then the default is GNS3 project. This one you don't change anything. Then you include this snapshot, and then you export. Okay, and then before that, they will ask you this some information. Okay, you can type this project, whatever, author, your name, your metric, and then lab, whatever lab here. You just copy, paste here, and then you submit, you will decrypt the message, and then that is the second file that you need to submit. Okay, clear tak? I will show this again on Wednesday, right? If there is any question, then I will put here. Okay? I will add on so that things become very clear. Last semester, I said to the student, okay, just show me the screenshot and then the rest you pandai-pandai. And then I get so many different formats. So I think it's quite difficult also. So this time, at least I get the main things that I want to see. Boleh? Okay, so I will share this in our I think in our okay, I'll put in Microsoft Team today, right? I put but then this is not final. Maybe you have some question, and then I will add on to this letter, right? So by Wednesday, when we come back, we will start with this, and then we will discuss about this. Okay, guys, boleh? Okay, kalau tak ada apa-apa, so I think that's all for today. See you again on Wednesday.
Thank you, Doktor.
Okay,
Thank you, Doktor.
All right.